And hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk podcast Night of Champions review. I am in charge of setting the technical elements of this stream up, which is why that was quite an abrupt, hard transition into the video.
My fault. My fingers slipped.
And if you're watching on video, it looks like I'm in a sort of 1920s film where some guy is cranking the projector.
It feels like it. Yes. Yes, doing the running thing. Yeah, here we are. I feel like that guy on was it BBC News? He accidentally walked onto the news, and they thought he was the guest.
Oh, and he was the taxi driver.
Yeah, because the way I looked to the side, and I abruptly pressed the extra. They're like, "Oh, hi, it's me. I'm not Luke, and there's a new way of viewing the camera. I can't look there anymore. Just look there, Sat. Just look there. Hi, guys."
Yeah, I foolishly told Sat just about 5 minutes before we went on air that we don't work the hard cam anymore.
I assumed it was just a Thursday show. I just assumed it was a Thursday, because I know you guys got a Thursday show and you do this. Like, oh, look at that. They're trying to be all arty-farty. They're in the same room. Okay, I have to say we are in the same room because Brainbusters, by the way, people assuming Tempest wasn't in the room or SoCal Val wasn't in the room. I'm like, it's a studio. It's big. Yeah. It's all encompassing, all right? It's all around us. So we are in the same studio. We are in the same space. This is not CGI. Hello. But
not big enough, that studio, to have an establishing shot of everyone.
It ruined the magic.
Which is why it doesn't hit, link everybody up.
No.
But yes, it's a Night of Champions review, everybody. Hello, or should I say Night of 2 champions, 2 tournament finals, and just 2 singles matches. Yeah. 2025.
Yeah.
I'm Oli Davis. I'm, of course, joined by Sati Nyangi, making his return to the podcast, much missed. And yeah, that in a sort of weekend of technical faults for WWE, with the SmackDown Power Cut thing.
I've heard about it.
Yeah, I feel like it's that we're just doing it on theme.
Oh, also, we brought the heat from Saudi Arabia with us.
The real feel is intense.
It's hot. It's hot. Outside, traveling into the studio, it's quite decent in here. You know, the fan's doing its thing, but it's warm. That's why I wear headbands, guys. It's not a fashion thing. It's because I glisten with sweat.
We are going to start off talking about the opening match of the show, Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes, King of the Ring final, babyface versus babyface, friend versus friend, legacy member versus legacy leader. And it was a good match, but I've got this. Luke said something about 2 weeks ago where he fantasy booked a double turn in the main event of SummerSlam between John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Cena turns face, Cody turns heel, Cody wins the belt. And that just has not left my head. And I felt like they might have been teasing it in this match.
Your hair looks nice, by the way.
Thank you very much.
It's got a little slope.
I'm growing it out for Superman to get that little curl in.
Well, it's working. It's working. I can see it. 2 weeks away. The Superman film, right? Yeah. I read about hypno glasses and stuff like that. Clark Kent. So basically, James Gunn, who is a noted comic book nerd, he's taken from the Silver Age comic books where Clark Kent's glasses are hypno glasses. That's why people can't tell they're Superman.
That's a good little thing. They need that in Batman v Superman because he's doing nothing else to dissuade people that he's actually Superman.
There you go.
He's a pretty confident Clark Kent all the time.
There you go. So that's why I went hypno glasses. And he's like, huh? I just read it. Hypno glasses. And there's actually a thing. Silver Age comic book. Any Superman nerd, do your fact checking if you don't know. Get to know. But yeah, let's talk about Cody Rhodes potentially turning heel, which I think is a terrible idea, by the way. Terrible.
I want to talk about Silver Age Superman now.
I know.
Jimmy Olsen's cross-dressing. Lois Lane becoming a black woman for that one episode, or issue as they call it.
What?
Yeah, these are all... I've literally just finished reading a book about the Silver Age of Superman. They did crazy things every week. Or month.
I can imagine. Let's talk about the modern age of professional wrestling.
So you don't think... Well, first off, shall I lay out my argument for why I think they were sowing seeds here?
The floor is yours, man. The floor is yours.
So let me take you back to November.
Okay.
Kevin Owens.
All right.
They did not want Cody Rhodes to get booed when Kevin Owens turned heel on him. Because, heel turns, gets a pop. Cody Rhodes, about 6-7 months into his title reign, people were becoming a little bit antsy with him. Even though, we all love him as a babyface. Kevin Owens turning on him would get a big babyface pop.
Yay!
So they let Owens do the angle off screen.
Smart.
After the show went off air, in front of very few fans. And then they didn't have him on TV for like the next 3 weeks, so Cody wouldn't get booed in the arenas. So they're very hyper aware of how Cody could be booed in certain situations. And here, they have him working over Randy Orton's lower back. Orton was one of the most over people of the whole weekend, I'd say, because the crowd loved singing his song and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cody's working over the lower back, bending it over the ring post, and he starts to get boos.
Where was this Cody at WrestleMania?
Well, yeah, they did start to boo him then, but he was just doing his...
I'm sorry.
I'm not going to use
that doesn't count. Las Vegas is not a real place. Okay, if we're going to get started, that entire shambolic run of during WrestleMania because Las Vegas just did not get with the program, trying to boo Cody vigorously. No selling John Cena's heel turn. So yeah, they're not a real place. And Dom Mysterio getting cheered. You know, there's the Bizarre Land. Bianca Belair getting booed. You know what I'm saying? It's Bizarre Land. It doesn't exist. It's not a real place.
International crowd.
No, I mean international. It's gamblers, man. I'm not going to you gamblers. I said what I said. But yes, continue. You're stating your case. Yeah, the heel turn. He works on his back. Yeah,
and in this match, Randy Orton gets the lower back injury or gets worked over like really early on. He hits a superplex really early on.
Yes,
Cody's all over it as he should be. Yeah. He's a smart wrestler. But then Randy Orton has a moment where he can hit the punt and he hesitates because he's like, oh, he's my friend. No, he does eventually go for it, but by then Cody's moved. But Cody doesn't have the same level of hesitation when Randy has exposed the top turnbuckle and he pushes Randy into it. It knocks Randy out. Crossroads. Win.
I'm annoyed by that because I watched WrestleMania. Where was that guy? Right? Where's the guy we saw at Night of Champions compared to the waffler who couldn't even, I can't hit Cena, he's my hero, but your friend and leader who matters more to you in kayfabe and probably in real life. Yeah, I'm nonchalant about hurting him. Like I don't mind him being vicious. It's just that it's the what happened from WrestleMania till now. I know he took time off after WrestleMania, but it's like what's happening is it because he's learned from WrestleMania? I don't know. It's just that it was quite inconsistent in terms of his motivations.
Well, I think he is. But there's two things that could be happening. Either he has learned from his Cena experience. He knows that he needs to be more aggressive. That's why they're booking him against his friend babyfaces like Jey Uso in the semis as well.
Yeah.
Overcomes Jey, overcomes Randy here by being more aggressive and taking advantage of those little moments, building it to when he does take on Cena, he goes to use the belt and he uses it.
He better do.
Yeah. But by that point, will people be cheering Cena so much that might be seen as a heel turn from Cody? Because he's being too aggressive now.
No, it's the fans turn heel.
It's the fans.
They already turned heel a long time ago. The fans are heel. Because you know I'm a wrestling fan, but I try my best not to be toxic as a wrestling fan. We are the problem. We are the problem. We just don't like the what's. I mean, that's not CGI. That's not ChatGPT. That's not AI. That's human beings in there purposely poo-pooing people's progression when they try and do promos. We're the heels. We've always been the problem. We're always bad. We're always self-righteous. We always think we know better. Even though some of us have never been inside a wrestling ring, but we think we know better. So we are the heels. And I was going to say, no. Cody Rhodes shouldn't turn heel. He's doing almost a babyface. Ride that train till the wheels fall off, until everybody's booing him. That's when you turn him.
Well, Cody said in an interview last week or the week before, I think, that he feels like he should be turning heel sooner. But then he did say within the next 1 to 3 years, which is quite a long time.
People hate that because, you know, you're not on social media. Notoriously on social media, Sat Yangi here. Sorry, a lot of people are complaining about it's ruining kayfabe. I miss the days when wrestlers wouldn't use treating it like behind the music every week. You know, I shouldn't say that part, but I didn't mind it. I don't care that he mentioned it, and I would be open to a Cody Rhodes heel turn or heel run if we have a babyface to supplant him as the top face. When that's done,
John Cena,
the guy that's leaving.
Yeah, but in like 5 months' time.
No, the guy that's leaving. I don't want him to be a top face. I mean, it's a retirement tour. He's saying goodbye. Leave. Just leave. I don't need him to stay around. Like he's past that part where he wants to be experimental in the ring. He wants to be as safe as possible. It's not translating to the way people want it to. He's retiring. No, I don't need to be top face. I need a new guy. I had Cena. I grew up on John Cena. John Cena was my late teens till my mid-20s. So I don't need him to be the top face again. No, give me someone else.
But Cena, look, I agree that I don't think Cena's heel turn has gone the way they wanted it to. I think it's actually been quite ropey overall. But Cena will probably retire as a face.
Of course, yeah.
And it looks like, well, now Cody's won King of the Ring. He's going to get that WWE title shot. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen at SummerSlam. Mm-hmm. So how do you do Cody versus Cena at SummerSlam and sort of have enough in the tank for the rest of the year?
Well, there's one or two things that could happen. Number one, Cody could win the title at SummerSlam. Number two, he could not win. He could get shenanigans. You can have, wrong killings and CM Punk and whatnot. A melee of things. I don't know. A litany of things to make into a schmoz, as Bret Hart would say, a schmoz finish, and then Cena retains. But I do think that Cody should win the title because Cena's not at a level to carry the title anymore, and it's becoming the same thing over and over again. Interference, belt shot, win, victory. It's becoming a bit redundant, and WWE is in a downturn at the moment as well, and this whole situation not helping. So I want basically Cody Rhodes to learn from WrestleMania. The whole thing is he had too much respect. He was too much of a fan that he wasn't Cody Rhodes the man. He was Cody Rhodes the fan looking at John Cena, and he needs to look at John Cena as an equal and pummel him. And win back his title, be the quarterback.
How do you think that goes down, though, in front of the live SummerSlam crowd? Because I do feel like Cody hitting Cena with the belt is going to get him booed right now.
No. He got booed for not using the belt. You wimp! I was shouting at you, wimp! And then you said that, how the fans feel, how people feel. In the words of a great man, it doesn't matter how the fans feel in that arena. It's pantomime, right? Cena's meant to be heel, but people want to be cool. Screw that. There's a contingent of fans that's loyal to Cody. He should appeal to them, to those people, not those wishy-washy people, not those fickle people. So I don't care, guys. I think Cody should hit him with the belt. That's the whole point. The whole point was he didn't do it the first time. He hesitated. My hero, my friend, and he got kicked in the yam bags. But this time he should have a cup and also hit him with the belt.
Oh, well, he does a sort of Bret Hart. I was wearing a steel corset thing, Goldberg.
I was wearing a cup.
But it's on his dick.
Yes, and then pulls out the cup and then kicks him in the dingling and hits him with the belt and then wins. It doesn't matter. He needs to be ruthless. Come on, Stone Cold Steve Austin used to hit people with chairs, belts, you name it. Triple H used to hit people with his fist covered in sledgehammer. So come on. It's either he's too nice, Cody's too nice, or forget it. It's eye for an eye. It's in the Bible. It's real. Eye for an eye. It's a thing. If someone, screws you over, you screw him back. You don't take it.
I thought that the moral there was everyone would go blind, though, if it was an eye for an eye.
Brilliant. It's Old Testament, which is a bleak
revenge
book.
thing, or more revenge is actually a bad idea overall.
Listen, you know the ones, turn the other cheek. Yes, you can punch him in the face.
Do you remember, was it 7 Psychopaths?
Yeah.
And he's like, what if, but there'll be one guy who still has one eye.
Exactly. There'll be one person with one eye. I believe in eye for an eye. If someone does you bad, you do it back to them. They need to respect you. Bullies only respect someone if you bully them back. If they bully you, you bully them back. I've seen the film Scum. That's how it works. Ray Winston.
Yeah, great movie.
Great movie. It's a bleak film. Me and my partner watched it last week. We were like, what the heck? And the ending. We actually went to sleep after. I was like, all right, I'm ending my night with that. But anyway, going on the diatribe, what I'm trying to say is Cody needs to be solid in his conviction.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a few other ways you could do interference if you don't turn Cody heel. I think Randy Orton could cost Cody the Cena match at SummerSlam. Really? Because at the end of this, after Orton was pinned, Orton looked pissed off. Yeah,
but I feel like Orton is going to be our story for next year. They're saving that. Because right now, it's the Cena tour, right? Goldberg didn't get the memo. It's the Cena farewell tour. Nobody else. Too. Oh, shut up. Yeah, so it's about John Cena right now. And I feel like Cody and Randy, there's been seeds planted for a while, but there's been a lot of detours because we never got the chance to pay off Randy Orton sitting in the locker room, looking at the WWE title whilst consoling Cody Rhodes doing his whole thing with KO and stuff like that. So I'm ready for that. But there's been so many things that they can't. Randy, we can't fit you in. There's so many things going on. I feel like Randy's next year. Randy's the whole back injury thing. Yep. There's gonna be a payoff for everything. It's like, are you still the killer? The whole hesitation thing. Even I wrote at that. He ignored the voices in his head. He's trying to fight the voices in his head. But he needs to be the old killer Randy Orton, because this is twice in a row that he's done King of the Ring. He's gone to the finals and he hasn't won. There's a payoff in there somewhere. And I think he will be world champion again. And it might be against Cody Rhodes, depending if he faces CM Punk next year at WrestleMania and beats Punk. But I do see that Randy Orton will turn and go for another world title, 15th title, whatever he wants to be.
There's also Seth Rollins and his Money in the Bank briefcase. I think he's made it perfectly clear now he does not care at all about the World Heavyweight title. He wants that WWE title.
No, you mean the World Heavyweight title, the WWE title, the one that John Cena has. He doesn't want that. He wants his world title.
No, he wants... But why did he come out at the main event then? For the WWE title?
Have you not been paying attention to his promos? Every time Punk sniffs at a title, he screw Punk.
Oh, yeah, I guess there's that.
You know, him and the Seth Riders, they just,
Seth Riders.
Shout out to SP3, came out with that. There's a guy called Humble Wrestling on Twitter trying to take credit for it. SP3 came up with Seth Riders, so I'm going to let people know all the time.
What did you think of the match overall? I thought it was the best match of the night for me.
It was, but it had like that cheat code of every time you see Cody do those top rope cutters, he means business. So I was like, you could tell. But I'm also kind of annoyed slightly with Bobby Roode, because Bobby Roode was the agent for the Cena and Cody match, and since then I've been like, is Bobby Roode behind these matches? So it was different from his WrestleMania matches. So it's like he put his all on the line. Randy Orton did the back, which I think Randy lucked out, because Randy's all about psychology, and there's fans who kind of dislike Randy Orton because they call him a chin lock merchant. He doesn't even need to do chin locks anymore. He can just do my back, so my back for 5-10 minutes. Play psychology, and I don't mind it because I grew up in the 90s where psychology was king. But you get a lot of people saying, oh man, he's just doing his back thing, the match is slow, blah, blah. But I like the build up of when Randy Orton, because his back is messed up, he has to find other means in order to trying to get victory. And that's what we saw in the match. And yeah, I like the match. And I feel like we didn't see everything yet. I feel like that was like a taster of what we could see if they're given 25 minutes.
Well, they got 20 minutes here, but yeah, it had that sort of 35, 40 minutes. What was the Randy Orton Edge greatest match ever length? That was like a full 60, wasn't it?
I don't know, but it was long. It was like John Dillman, man. It was long. There's a lot of chin locks, a lot of plodding along.
Sat is trying to get as many film references into this show as possible.
Why not, man? Like those are my loves. Films, wrestling, and music. Yeah.
Well, Cody will be going to SummerSlam and challenging for the WWE title.
Yay!
He's on SmackDown. We're gonna get Cena, Cody too. Probably on night 2 of SummerSlam.
Just don't have Bobby Roode booking it, and I'll be happy.
But definitely Travis Scott. We can all agree.
No, Fiend.
Get Travis Scott in there. That's everyone's been asking. Where is that guy? He's the most important part of the story.
Fiend. No, he's not. Like, listen, this is how I feel. I'll gladly be happy to see Travis Scott if I see The Rock. No Rock, no Scott, please.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what you'll think on the chat gables. WrestleTalk.com/support. Read out every single one over $5 before the end of the show. Some guy writes, "Hi guys, thought about it last night. I think a chance was missed by not having Sami Zayn in the finals. Think about it. He wins King of the Ring, wins the world title at SummerSlam, then Seth cashes in, wins the title, and we can have Roman crying in the confetti, but good. I'm fully expecting a double turn and a Cody win at SummerSlam. I'm hoping it leads to Randy getting number 15 against Cody later down the line."
The Sami Zayn hypothesis, that was everyone's wish.
Yeah.
So it's not like a hot take. Everyone was thinking that... because I don't know if you saw on Raw, but everyone's saying, Sammy goes, I'm going to be world champion one day. And people are like, oh, this is the year. This is the time. He's gonna go King of the Ring because he's got a fan base there in Saudi Arabia. He's gonna win there. Then go SummerSlam. Then he's gonna beat Gunther because he beat Gunther before WrestleMania. And then as he wins, burn it down. Seth Rollins comes out, catches Money in Bank, then beats him, and then Royal Rumble, wins Royal Rumble, then face Seth Rollins again at WrestleMania. That was what everyone thought. Then Cody, Randy Orton's beating 1, 2, 3. So yeah, but I still believe Royal Rumble, Sami Zayn's gonna win.
Yeah, you can still do that storyline. It's just a 4-month version from January to April.
Bingo.
And where is the greatest Royal... Well, not the greatest Royal Rumble. Where is the Royal Rumble in 2026?
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, it is. Geek of Arabia writes, Night of Champions was fun to watch. Best match Cena had this whole run. I also actually believed for a sliver of a second that Punk was going to win, if not for Rollins. Speaking of, I don't think any of Seth's major plans have worked. Yeah, for a visionary, he's not very good at seeing how his plans could fail.
He successfully prevented CM Punk from winning.
I suppose it's that.
I mean, come on, guys.
Princess Laura, first time sending a chat gable as Oli and Sat sit there, hopefully as comfortable as they can possibly be. I have something to get off my chest. I'm so glad the Saudi Arabia crowd was better last night. Gives me hope for the 2026 Royal Rumble being good.
I mean, if you saw the women's match, there's cause for concerns. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I thought the crowd were really good.
In places,
yeah.
And then you watch certain women's matches, they were quite...
Well, I'd say for the Fatu Solo Sikoa match, they weren't that into that either. Roach Senpai writes, I know you'll get to this eventually, but I'm trying to understand what are the roles of Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed in Seth Rollins United, or whatever their faction name is.
Seth Riders.
Will they chase the tag titles or individual singles titles? Are they going to do something?
I have an issue with that as well. I compare it to like the formation of Evolution when Triple H put the group together. It didn't take him 6 months to put the group together. He did one promo on Raw. They attacked a babyface of who the babyface was, and Evolution was established the next Monday on Raw. You got the name, you got the group, and eventually get the music. This group doesn't have a name. They haven't even finished recruiting members because they're missing a loud-mouthed, cocky, arrogant guy. Yeah. And a lot of people have been saying Ethan Page or Ricky Saints. They're missing that kind of guy to be in a group. The Intercontinental title champion guy in a group, because Bron Breakker's been Intercontinental champion twice already, so him winning it for a third time in a group doesn't really help serve him, because he's in that level where he could be world champion tomorrow because he's done the mid-card run. It's just he needs to beat more main eventers in order to be more believable for when he eventually breaks away. So the issue is the group hasn't properly set yet because they haven't got the complete members, and also they don't have names, and they don't have defined roles. Hence, the backstage segments are just a bit meh. So they haven't blended. The chemistry is still chem testing.
Yeah, and even like Heyman doesn't feel like Heyman feels like he fits with Bron Breakker. I don't think Heyman fits with Seth Rollins. Now we're a couple of months into this. I was really excited when Bronson Reed joined, not just because it's Bronson Reed, but also because I thought, they can do something with the tag titles on Raw. Which are just like these dead belts right now. I know they're being defended tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw. But it's just the same Judgment Day, New Day, War Raiders, American Alpha, and they're not focused on. Whereas if Bronson and Bron got the belts, they could be the big monster Hurt Syndicate act.
I agree. But it's kind of like the group's unfinished, so I can't judge it until we get the full group name, theme song changes that's been rumored to be happening, or theme song addition for the group. So until it happens, I'm not going to judge them until I see the complete package.
Finally, for now, we've got Oli, who writes, morning, random, but I was wondering what you thought about having the tag team titles be unified in a SummerSlam match. The Raw tag team division needs help, and the SmackDown tag team division is going to need time once SmackDown moves to 3 hours. Well, it's actually, as of next week, it's going back to 2 hours, thank God. We don't know how long for. I think that's what Oli there means, because he's like, well, SmackDown's going to have 1 hour cut out of it, and maybe the tag division will suffer, which has been one of the beneficiaries of that 3 hour length.
BS, but yeah, sure. They said, no, the reason I say it's BS, because when they said, oh, it's going to go 3 hours, and wrestlers that's not really getting booked, then they get booked, and it never happened. So it's to answer the question, no, just move Pretty Deadly over to Raw. Move over the tag team, because it seems like Pretty Deadly have kind of been erased from, because they were there once upon a time with DIY as in one of the prominent people in the tag division in terms of like the feud over the tag belts. They've kind of fallen under because Triple H is allergic to humorous wrestlers or tag teams. I don't know if you noticed that. If you got a sense of humor, Boogs gone. Tried it with Truth, failed. It's just like if you've got charisma or sense of humor, it seems not to push them. They should go to Raw. I feel like Raw needs, I don't know, Raw doesn't need more tag teams because you've got the New Catch Republic working on main events. They need more focus. Kind of like SmackDown's got focus, Raw needs focus, and they need to have PLE matches as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's it. They need time on Raw.
Yeah.
And get some actual week-to-week storylines and feuds.
It's just matches and rematches. It's like, if they can book SmackDown well, what's stopping from Raw being the same thing as well? It doesn't make sense. That's why the whole Book of the Year BS, I'm like, listen, Triple H, man, you've been exposed as a fraud. Your booking, wherever your booking capability is not all that. When you do your Netflix show, I'm going to laugh to high heavens.
Unreal. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to watch a fake show. That show will be more scripted
than the actual wrestling. And then they're like, oh, it's my pen. It was my lucky pen. Oh, this is the pen I use. It's the pen that Harley Race gave to me, on my wedding day with Stephanie.
Well, please do keep getting in your chat cables to WrestleTalk.com/support. We'll read out every single one over $5. But for now, let's do the rest of the card. The second match was Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez, which was actually really good.
I don't know why you're shocked.
Well, I did, because it's not really a feud that's been devoted much time to. It felt like it was just booked haphazardly off the back of maybe the Dominic and Liv Morgan injuries. But yeah, street fight. I would have preferred a few more violent spots, I guess. And maybe, I don't know about this, maybe I would have put Raquel over just to solidify that Roxanne Perez tag team.
The only one that said that.
Rhea Ripley's Rhea Ripley. She is one of the hottest stars in the company.
Bingo.
I don't begrudge them pushing her over everyone else.
Rhea Hogan, and some people are going to say on social media. I'm one of those people, I hate that, because you didn't live through Hulk Hogan, man. That's not real. That's not Hogan. I am not shocked because they've had chemistry before. It's not the first time wrestling each other. I think they had matches in the NXT before, from what I remember. Raquel Rodriguez, it was like a coming out party for her, because a lot of people were like, who is this Raquel person? What can she actually do? There are times where Raquel Rodriguez shows like glimmers of potential, glimmers of someone that's, and then in other weeks she messes up the finish of a match. So for me, I felt like you said, Raquel should have won because it's a plunder match, which means you can have the cheap Roxanne 2 against 1. That's the reason why she lost in the first place. It wouldn't be as clean, it wouldn't be crystal clean or, pristine or super white. It would be kind of gray colored in terms of the victory. But at the same time, I understand why Rhea winning, because Rhea's probably being booked strong because she wants that type. Like her feud with Io Sky is not over. Yeah. We're going to revisit that down the line. But at the same time, Raquel is someone that I've always felt like was miscast as a babyface on the main roster. She was forced to start smiling.
She was forced to talking while I find out why all video has disappeared.
Oh my gosh, kind of like WWE. What's going on here? Yeah. So I felt like Raquel Rodriguez was miscast as a babyface. She had this smile like she was like, under like hostage situation or whatever it was. So I'm happy that we're finally starting to see her trying to find her footing. Being part of the Judgment Day has kind of helped her along. I missed the interaction that she used to have with Carlito. And, now that, Liv Morgan's now gone, I can't wait to see what they do with her and Roxanne. But it does feel like it was a coming out party for her. But, what I do dislike is when they did a promo package, you got like Rhea Ripley saying, you came back and you turned on me or you screwed me over. I'm like, that's not what happened, Rhea. Rhea, you're the bad guy in this story. If you remember, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez were tag team champions. And then Rhea Ripley injured Liv Morgan, which also impacted Raquel because, that's a partner. The tag titles were affected. They lost the tag titles because of Rhea. So Raquel was getting revenge. So Raquel is the protagonist in the story. Rhea Ripley, you're like Mobland, all right? You're the baddie, but because we're following your point of view, we have to kind of, cheer you. But you're a bad person, Rhea Ripley. You screwed your friend over. So yeah, I have no empathy for her. Raquel, yes.
The eye for an eye again.
Oh, yeah.
Just the whole of WWE is going to be blind.
It's my mantra, man. Eye for an eye.
I will say there's been some hilarious comments when the feed cut to black just now.
What happened?
For audio listeners, we just 30 seconds of just black on the screen. We've got Kevin saying, "Oh my God, the Young Bucks just took out Oli." We've got Alexa Bliss Gamer. The Wyatt Six are debuting. And JSO6 OMG Undertaker. Because of course that is. Maybe we should build this into some kind of story.
Well, every time you do a podcast.
Teasing
a
few little dips to black.
Fair enough. What did you think?
I mean, that is your whole thing, isn't it? Cut to black.
Oh, and the camera goes. Yeah, that is my thing. I used to do that. That was a thing.
I did like the match. I thought it was a really good fun match. And yeah, Raquel can be a bit botchy sometimes. She wasn't here. The video package, I get that it actually isn't the truth behind the story, but from a feud that didn't exist a week ago, really, they just had to say, "We're real life friends. Look, we've got matching tattoos." It's like, God damn. It's like this years-long epic rivalry.
It's sad that it wasn't conveyed on television. Yes. What's the point? You've got one job in WWE Unreal. I bet see that you got one job is to convey to the fans that this feud has history, because you wouldn't know it. Watching it, you think it is like Raquel came back, saved Liv, and that's the feud. When it is like it's been inbuilt for years. Like they've been friends dating back from the Mae Young Classic when they both debuted on the Mae Young Classic. They even both had a main roster debut, part of a Battle Royal on NXT. So they go way back. Their history, it's there, man.
My big thing is more Roxanne. I really think Roxanne is the legit future of the women's division.
She's the now, man. The
she's but she's not because of things like this. She's been on the main roster since January. She's the runner-up in the Royal Rumble, runner-up in Elimination Chamber. She's in the Money in the Bank match. It's like she's the best person in the Money in the Bank match for me. Why is she always just taking these side losses on week-to-week TV and feeling like a third wheel in other people's stories? Because her interference spot here made her look like a geek. A jabroni, a geek. She just came in to beat up Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley took her out quite easily and put her in a bin. All of her fitted inside this bin.
I mean, you can 5 foot of fury.
And then Ripley gets in the ring, and Rodriguez also doesn't beat Rhea Ripley. Again, I get why they did it because it's Rhea Ripley, but it makes Roxanne and Raquel look pretty weak, and they're going to be the women's tag team champions.
So Raquel is as intimidating as Big Show in his prime was, which is not really intimidating, and that's the issue. Someone made a joke about how Raquel was ineffective as Liv's heavy because no one took her seriously. You just laugh. You're like, this woman, I just trip you up and you'll just be knocked out for 5 minutes, that kind of thing. And I agree, but I'm gonna make a joke. The reason why Roxanne's gonna treat men, because if they booked Roxanne Strong on the main roster, Roxanne Hogan. So she has to, earn her stripes by she's being humbled in the beginning. She's gonna get a victory, but it's kind of like she's been built by defeat. Same thing happened with Lyra Valkyria. It's like they were building her for defeat, and then she became Intercontinental champion. So it's kind of like earn your stripes, kid.
Pay those dues. Sami Zayn then took on Karrion Kross. This was another match that felt like it was maybe thrown together at the last minute because of some injuries and whatnot elsewhere in the card.
Injuries.
Apparently Dominic's injured. I thought the same though. I thought, someone's not going to Saudi. But it didn't get a video package. Sami came out in the sort of Saudi headdress thing. He's a huge baby face there now, which is crazy to think considering just a few years ago. He was
banned.
He wasn't even allowed there, and he didn't want to go there either.
Yeah.
But yeah, this Karrion has been great this year on promos and backstage segments. But for me, it hasn't translated in ring. And granted, he hasn't really been given the opportunity to do that on the weekly WWE TV or even PLEs. But he had it here, and I felt like Sami Zayn was 80% of the charisma of this match. So I don't know if this was the establishing star-making performance that Kross needed, especially with him losing as well. It just felt like Sami Zayn's Monster of the Week.
So I've been on a Karrion Kross train by myself for the past couple of years, and then everyone's coming around. They're seeing what I've been seeing. The guy on interviews, the guy in real life is a lovely guy. I think I root for Kevin Kazar over, like, it bleeds into Karrion Kross. I see the guy's passionate about the business, very smart. I would love to talk about films with him. Because he's a film buff as well. His style, I think that's what it is. People need to understand that we're in a generation of fans that's getting 5-star, 6-star matches. And then when you get like a 3-star match, it's like a sin. No one wants to watch. It's kind of like films. You're used to a certain type of films. And the moment they told you, we're going to slow things down. We're going to do, we're going to do a methodical pace. We're going to do a lot more psychology. So people confuse psychology for being slow and boring. Because even Cole say, oh, he's got a plodding style, but I don't mean it in a negative way, but it just, that's his style. Like, where it was, he was grinding down the baby face. He's, the bigger hulking guy. And then one mistake he made, Sami, here's a haluva kick and it was over. That was the story of the match. But it's like, do you want him to do flips? He does Saito suplexes. He's, it's kind of like, he's kind of like, it's like a thriller. It's like a killer chasing after his victim and you're stuck in a warehouse. And instead of running after the victim, it's going to take his time. He's going to dissect them mentally and then physically. And that's why he's trying to do probably character work. Maybe because when I grew up in the 90s, I'm much more forgiving of the style, but I didn't mind it. I didn't expect a shooting star press. It's like, do you want more moves in between what he was doing? It's like, what is it that's missing from you that you want from him?
Well, it certainly isn't shooting star presses.
Yeah, but
what you've just described as this sort of psychological heel who slowly chips away their opponents.
It's Jake the Snake Roberts. If you watch a Jake the Snake Roberts match, he's not. Watch his match with Randy Savage once Tuesday night in Texas. Similar thing. I feel like Karrion Kross's style would be more appreciative back in the days when that was the thing, because he's taught in the old school psychology. Because nowadays you get a lot of wrestling schools that teach more about moves. Psychology maybe, but he's very psychology first. It's kind of like in his mind that my character wouldn't do certain things because he's a heel. The whole point is he's meant to make you loathe him in the ring and you like the baby face. Even like in the ring, you want him to do something cool. No, his promo is what gets you in. In the ring, he's still a heel. So he can do heel things, which is not do exciting things in the ring.
Well, you cannot do exciting things. You can sort of stalk your opponent and you can just slowly chip away at them and grind them down like a baby face. That is what he did on a mechanical level, but I don't feel like that charisma that I see in the promos is coming out in that style in the ring. I don't want them to be running around hitting Canadian destroyers and everything, but unfortunately I just don't see the brilliance of the promo work translating to the intensity in the ring. Well, at the end it started to get glimmers of that because he's got Sami Zayn in the corner and he's screaming at him like, "You're a liar, admit you're a liar," and then they'll run back and they'll hit him with a clothesline. "Tell me I'm the truth," and then he runs back and that's when Sami hits a haluva kick. That was a great finish.
And that's it.
That needed to be throughout the whole match.
Right.
Whereas I felt like it wasn't. But that intensity of Karrion shouting at people, like Bray would get that. That's a good example, actually, because Bray sometimes would do that stalking, slow thing, but then have a moment of explosiveness, like the giant senton thing that he'll do. But it'll also be talking to them, weirdly moving around them, which I don't feel Karrion does a lot of the time. Or maybe he's just not given enough time to do it because this match was 12 minutes, I think.
So for me, the weird thing is, like, when he was Killer Kross in TNA, I never really noticed. Like, I don't know if it's... Again, sometimes producers get eliminated from conversations. It's like, is the match layout to blame? Because think about Logan Paul versus AJ Styles WrestleMania. Before the match happened, you're excited, right? You're thinking, oh, this could be AJ's best match because Logan Paul, he does flips and AJ can do flips as well. And when you watch the match, it was kind of slow and methodical. And you're like, oh, they're going against their instincts. They're going against what they're known for. And then you watch Logan Paul have a match later on and you're like, oh, you didn't do that in your match. You didn't do all that flips. So sometimes, like, is it the layout and the structure of the match? Because even Sami, but at the same time, I watch Gunther matches and I'm not comparing, Gunther to, Karrion Kross. what's the difference between that match and WrestleMania match? You know, like, let's be honest. You can't say appreciate Gunther matches and then you see someone else not executing to the degree of where Gunther does it. Gunther's like an artist. He knows his realm. He knows the pacing, how to maximize it. That's the difference. You know, to maximize the silence, maximize the minimalist style of his ring work. But when you watch Karrion Kross, it's within the same lane, but it's kind of like, you know, when you got two crossroads, one is like a creepy, you know, the trees and the forest, and the other one's like heaven and rainbows. Gunther's heaven and rainbows, and Karrion Kross is like the trees and the dread, because that's what people associate him with. They think, oh, he's slow and methodical and plodding. I'm like, I'm not saying this match was WrestleMania, you know, Gunther versus Sami Zayn, because there was no brainbuster from the top rope. But had we got a brainbuster from the top rope, you'd feel differently about the match.
Yeah, it would have woken me up for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. You're from your coffee. You're like, oh, this match is But I didn't think it was bad. I do think people over exaggerate. Because I watched the match, I was like, yeah, it's not. It's kind of like when we're going to talk about Jade Cargill later. It's like sometimes you have to understand there's certain style that they're sticking to. Appreciate for that style. Don't start conveying, oh, why don't you wrestle like Lesnar? He's not Lesnar. You know, he's 6'3", because you're like, why does he wrestle like Bobby Lashley or Lesnar? He's more Jake the Snake Roberts. He's more like, I'm going to do psychology first and minimalist moves and, you know, because there's a reason why people like Randy Orton. Some people are like, oh, he's a chinlock merchant, but it's his timing, his footwork, and his psychology. Psychology is important, and a lot of people ignore that. And I understood the story they're trying to tell, but yeah, it wasn't the coming out party that people wanted. But I was like, it's fine. It was fine. And then, because I didn't expect anything more, I'm like, it is what it is. It's either you get a wrestler to come wrestle around him, or it's like Diesel and Bret Hart. Bret Hart knew how to maximize Kevin Nash's, you know, perceived weakness or whatever, and maximize what makes him impressive. You just have to find someone that can do that for Karrion Kross.
Well, he's lost, so I don't know what that means for Karrion next.
Does people have amnesia? Sammy lost to Randy Orton, and he's in the midst of a storyline, so he's a priority. He needs that victory. Listen, I'm with you. I'm like, yeah, Karrion could have won, but then it would have prolonged the feud even more. It's kind of like Sammy's got things he needs to do. He's feuding with the Seth Riders. He needs to look like a credible, you know, a challenger. If he loses to Karrion Kross, yeah, we want Kross to do well, but maybe in this defeat, watch Raw, it'd be a catalyst for another feud with someone else, and he can go to the level you want him to go on.
Well, we'll see what happens on Raw, but I feel like, given the amount of time this Karrion Kross storyline's been going, they eventually give him the match, and then they make him lose clean in the match. No Scarlet or anything. That says to me, as a company, they don't see him at the level everyone is now popping for him. Well, so we'll see how it goes on Monday Night Raw, but I wouldn't be surprised if
it's released.
Not released.
Contract expired.
But his contract was up for renewal. I assume he's re-signed. But yeah.
But I'm rooting for Karrion Kross. I want him to. You need different wrestlers, different styles, and I feel like he's got a style that's misunderstood. I just think he's a misunderstood individual.
Well, speaking of misunderstood, Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa is someone I am on the train for. I think he is excellent. Yeah. Maybe it is because, you said about Triple H not knowing how to book comedy. And Solo isn't an out-and-out comedy guy, far from it.
Not yet.
But man, is he good at comedy. Like in Money in the Bank, he's doing the Penta dance. Did you see him? I think it was the post-show of Night of the Two Champions. Mm-hmm. He said...
4 words.
Yeah, the crowd are doing the yeet thing. And he said 4 letters, 1 word, stop.
Stop.
And it's just the way he delivered it. Yeah, the little head shake. I love him. I was saying to Luke that I thought Fatu should retain after this because it's a 2 and a bit month reign since WrestleMania. But now that Solo's won, I'm like, oh, I don't mind that at all. And Jacob can be the chaser. He's going up against the whole faction. So yeah, Solo Sikoa won the United States title in the next match.
Are you shocked?
I'm not shocked.
Well, because you did pick for Jacob to retain because you assumed that's what's going to be booked, right?
I just thought he would have a longer run with the title. But then they did the same with Bron Breakker, where it's like, here's the IC title for a month or two. Drop it, win it back a month later. I think they can do that with Jacob.
I assume that they're saving for a big SummerSlam moment. That's what it is. I feel like Jacob's going to win the title back at SummerSlam. And then that's when you're going to have the big pyro, the big coming out party for Jacob Fatu. Because when he won it, he was initially in that transition mode of his, you know, the babyface turn is looming. He's had enough of Solo. And you can also kind of argue Solo kind of helped him in terms of like retaining his championship the first time he defended it. So I feel like now that he's a full-blown babyface, like you say, the chase is, the money's in the chase when you're a babyface. Solo Sikoa. I've been on the train for Solo Sikoa since he was a street champ in NXT because I am a fan of all the Fatus, the Anoa'i Fatu family. I've been following them since the days of Yokozuna and the Head Shrinkers. So I feel like I'm way back with the family. I'm a huge fan of the Fatu family. In terms of Solo Sikoa, a lot of people say he was miscast as the enforcer. I do feel like they stripped away what made him interesting because the spinning solo move was great. All of a sudden, he became the guy that was mesmerized by his thumb. Remember that was the thing? He just couldn't have a conversation with him without him drifting off, looking at his thumb and being a bit dangerous. And he was quite quiet and he was quite mute in the beginning. But this is a guy that's got brim of charisma, a lot of charisma. But the other thing that's worrying is the work rate or the moveset, the style that he had in NXT did not translate on the main roster. Again, we need to talk about agents and bookers, or agents and producers, whatever they're called now, the coaches in AEW. The way match are being laid out, he's been told things that I feel like he's gone against his natural instinct. And because of that, you're seeing a version of Solo Sikoa that is not appealing to a lot of people. But his physical charisma, his promo ability has come a long way in terms of finally letting him be loose. And I'm a fan of his Bloodline. I wish they give him a different name so they don't compare to the other Bloodline.
Blood.
He could be a new blood, but also I feel like, the reason why people follow him, he seems to be a fun guy. I would hang out with Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu, again, kind of like Rhea Ripley. Bro, they brought you in. Nobody wanted you. Nobody was a fan of you, all right? You're considered dangerous. You're considered persona non grata, an outcast. Some people pretended you weren't even family pictures. Solo Sikoa picked you up from obscurity or MLW and said, come on, bro. You can be on my group. He gave you everything. Came out WrestleMania, he dabbed you up, wished you luck, and he went back. He didn't even interfere in your match. He let you win. He supported you. Like, if you think about it, all Solo did was he lost to Ulafala. He needed a break because he was having a mental breakdown. Then Jake was like, that's weakness. The disrespect. He went from saying, I love you, Solo, to being no gas, no breaks, appropriating, Anyway, and then Solo was like, yeah, cool, bro. You know, I see you're doing your thing. I love you, Jacob. You can see his manipulation, but he's a guy that's like, he's always been a younger brother, the Usos. Big deal. He just loves family, loves people, loves inviting people in. So I feel like Jacob is ungrateful.
Yeah.
He said something, or, you know, he's all grass, no brains, blah, blah, whatever. But come on, man. You've been disrespectful. That's what you get for being a bit salty. That's why I'll bring in a JC Mateo too. If I feel like my cousin was giving me some evil, some eyes, I feel like my life is under pressure. And I'll bring in even bigger Tongans if I have to as well. So I don't blame Solo Sikoa. I don't blame him. You know what I mean?
The tallest Tonga.
Tala Tonga.
Tala Tonga is what his name will be. That is what happened in the match. The crowd weren't super into the match.
They were tired.
They were a bit tired.
Yeah.
But then, JC Mateo came down, distracted the referee.
That name.
That's where we got the returning Tonga lower.
The pop. Pop of the night. That's the pop of the night. That was like, oh, and then everyone on social media did the goats back, and I love it how people are like, this guy has sometimes misgivings has endeared him. He's got like a fan base, and then another guy turned up, Longa Tonga, which we didn't. Apparently, that was another name people wanted for him, Longa Tonga for Hikaleo, now known as Tala Tonga. Longa Tonga. Would you gone for a Longa Tonga? Longa.
That it does. It fulfills the same purpose as Tala almost, or Tula.
No, but Tala is actually part of his government name. It's actually based on his actual name. Yeah, man.
Okay. But that was ineffective. The Tonga lower interference, of course. So we got the standard Bloodline finish of here is a new Bloodline family member. It is Tala Tonga. Hikuleo, who was signed to WWE a year ago. Yeah. Which is mad to think about that. Like, for how old is he? Like 30, 31?
Close enough.
On the shelf for a year, essentially. Perfectly healthy, coming off New Japan, was in AEW for a bit. But WWE do not bench people. They don't do that.
They've got another word for it. It's Polkatraz.
Yeah. So Tala Tonga comes in. He chokeslams Fatu onto the announce table. And yes, Solo wins the belt. Actually, as you were talking, Solo has a remarkable record in Saudi Arabia. United States win here, pinned Roman Reigns last year, which never happens in that 6-man tag, and beat John Cena.
Listen, put some respect on my tribal chief. Solo Sikoa is that guy. And I love this new... So going back to Tala Tonga, Wade Barrett's like, he's like 7 foot tall. No, we know he's 6'8". Let's not do that. Like I'm over build heights. Just be your real height, man. Like
7'8". 6'8" is impressive enough.
Yeah, that isn't like normalize being 6'8", please. And then you get guys like Abyss, who's clearly 6'6", 6'8". I said, please stop insulting my intelligence. I'm older now. I'm no longer a kid. Build heights don't work for me because it used to annoy me. Because I used to play the SmackDown vs. Raw games or SmackDown 2, and you're like, The Rock's 6'5", and years later 6'4", huh? And then Batista's 6'5", and years later 6'4", huh?
Yeah.
That explains why Randy's taller. But Randy went from being 6'4" to being 6'5", and Edge went from being 6'4" to 6'5". Yeah, so I have trust issues. Stop with the build heights.
Yeah, the one that broke me, I always remember. I think Adam Cole was billed as 6 foot in NXT. And my brain was just like, no, I don't trust you anymore.
Yeah, I know, right? And he's clearly like 5'10".
In the Queen of the Ring final, we got Jade Cargill versus Asuka. This was the shortest match of the night. It was about 8.5 minutes.
Yeah.
A bit disappointing, I'd say, for the final of a tournament. Asuka worked her socks off. Jade Cargill didn't screw anything up. She was all right throughout.
Wow, that's what we're doing now. Like the scrutiny. She's always under scrutiny, and I don't understand it.
Oh, it's because she was, very well protected in the AEW run, and she was squashing people in short matches. And you'd think that over time, particularly her tenure in WWE, should get better in longer matches. But I just feel like that's not happening.
That's BS. That is absolute BS. When she had a match with Nia Jax, an actually good match with Nia Jax, where was the critics then to go, well done, Jade, you actually done well in the match? Nobody. I feel like when she has good weeks, everyone's silent, conveniently. But the moment that she messes up in the match, you see that? There's another thing I've been thinking. Had Joni Lauer, aka China, debuted in this generation of wrestling, she would not make it. Because people be like, look at the size, but she can't work. Because the reason I'm bringing up China is because Jade Cargill's moveset is actually more impressive than what China used to do. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Well, yeah, a lot of the strength-based things.
In terms of like transitions she could do in the ring, she does super kicks. She tries to cater to the fan base. Hey, here's a super kick. We know how much you love super kicks because you love your little work rates and stuff like that. No, she is a powerful, big person. I would like her to work more as like a big power strength individual. Forget about the technical aspect because that's not her. That's not her strength. That's the issue. People are trying to make her into something that she's not. I'm not expecting anything that I'm happy with what I'm receiving, all right? She's a big woman, presence, give her like a smaller person to work with, which, with Asuka and Roxanne. Yeah, the Roxanne match, there's certain things that didn't go together. But look at someone like Raquel, who's been wrestling longer than Jade Cargill, only now starting to show glimmers, getting better. Over a decade ago, we had the same issue with Nia Jax. Nia Jax was plucked from NXT too quickly. And look what we got. Years of her just not there yet. And what happened? She gets released. I don't know if during her vacation or break, I don't know, COVID or whatever. She finally figures it out. And the moment she figure it out, we've got the Nia Jax we've got today. What I'm trying to say is, I'm not joining the chorus of boos. I am someone that's saying, you know what? I am fine with what we're given at the moment. She's got the presence. She's got the mic skills. Some people trying to say, she's miscast as a babyface. She's been told scripts to read. The Jade I remember in AEW saying, cut that I missed that Jade. Off the cuff, real. And what to forget, she's a millionaire. She doesn't, her husband's rich. She's wealthy. If you look at her background, this is just for fun. She doesn't need to do this. And maybe somebody said, that's why she's not. Nah. She is someone with due time, you'll see a difference. She's better than what she was a few years ago. I haven't given up hope. I will not join a chorus of people booing her. It was not bad. The match was too abrupt because I didn't see anything wrong with it. I was enjoying it and it just ended. Even the way it ended, the way it went 1, 2, 3. It wasn't like 1, 2, 3. Even if she did the jaded, you expected a kick out. But it was like 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Match is over. But no one was really reacting anyway. So it seemed so abrupt. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to join it. No, Oli, we're not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Well, I think she started off very well. in AEW, and that's because they're booking her a certain way. She's allowed to do these more short, badass promos on the mic, and she can run through people and squash people. And then she gets to WWE. Her limitations are exposed in these longer matches. Just like Goldberg back in the day, WWE want to seem to book her as a square peg in a bit of a round hole.
I agree.
As you just said there, she's much better as a heel. Why not cast her as a heel more quickly rather than not undermining her, but taking her teeth off her, really, by making her a baby face.
I agree.
And look, putting her in these longer matches, and you're totally right. If Chyna was working today, she wouldn't hold up to the scrutiny of what is much higher standards in women's wrestling. But that's a good thing that we are, treating women's wrestling with the same sort of scrutiny as we do the men's. For me, I would say.
To be honest, she was criticized as a wrestler back then as well. I'm just proving a point. But she had a great match with Statlander. Let's never erase that. Her last match in AEW was against Statlander, and it was a great match. So let's not forget that. She's capable of having good matches. I feel like that's what I get annoyed with. I feel like someone said it online. She gets the same scrutiny as Mercedes, but she doesn't have the match catalog to back up to say, hey, to push back. So that's why she gets drowned out by the boos. But I feel like it's unfair. She's very athletic. It's just that it's all about finding ways to highlight that. And sometimes you don't get that. And again, the agents, the producers should get blamed as well. You've been working with this woman. Like, how can you not highlight ways to book her well? I'm sorry. Yeah, Jade as well, but I feel like people got a bit too hard. I don't appreciate it. I've never been one to pile on people. It kind of makes me, I repel that. You saw me when they did that with Damian Priest last year. I'm like, I can't do that. I can't be, because you know what's going to happen a year from later. Oh, you know what? Damian Priest is actually a great wrestler. You judged too quickly. She's been in the business for a few years, and I feel like she's still got a lot to learn. Some people are quick learners. No one can be a Roxanne Perez. No one can be wrestling at the age of 14, 15, or wherever it is and just be a natural like Roxanne Perez. You get someone like Jade Cargill, comes from a basketball background, as an athlete. It takes time. Look at Mark Henry. In real time, we saw this guy struggle in 96 and then get it like in 2012 or 2011, wherever it was. From how he debuted and how he left. People loved him in the beginning. Vince was great in a 10-year contract. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna make you regret that. So what I'm trying to say is like, be patient. I'm always of the mindset of like, don't be too quick to judge. Yeah, it's been a few years, but she's still new to the game. So oh my gosh, did we get attacked again?
Yep, the black screen happened again. But we're back.
But do you know what I'm trying to say? I feel like don't be so quick to judge, because 5 years from now you'll be like, oh my gosh, Jade Cargill.
Well, I don't think I'm being quick to judge. I think I've been watching her career since she started.
Which is the issue.
And I feel like she's gone back in what she can do in the ring, whether that's her own ability or whether that's the exposing parts and the way she's been booked. To go back to the agenting and the match layout, I think one of the reasons it did feel like it finished so abruptly was because the first third of the match was Asuka working over the leg, Jade selling the leg, and then halfway through she does a kip up, and then you never hear about the leg again. Yeah. So when the finish happens at 8 minutes, bearing in mind the men's final went 20 minutes, it's just like, oh, but I thought we were telling that story. So what was the story of this match?
That I understand. But to go back to Jade Cargill, is a case of like she's been miscast as a babyface, but it is obvious where we're going with this. She is gonna face Tiffany Stratton for the title, and Naomi hopefully will cash in at SummerSlam and win. Because I'm worried, because it is Naomi at the end of the day. She has been done dirty. There's Natalya that gets done dirty, and then there's Naomi. So I'm kind of worried that they might make her be the first one to lose. But come on, her character, proceed with caution. This is the Naomi I've been praying for since the days when she used to hang out with Sasha Banks and Tamina, because she's a great heel and people forgotten that because she's the girl from next door, Glow. But yeah, I'm loving what we have with Naomi, and as we're going with that, and we also have the potential Bianca Belair match against Jade as well.
Yeah, there's loads of good stuff set up for the future of SmackDown there. But the main event was CM Punk versus John Cena, the WWE title. What did you think about the last couple of days in the CM Punk verse?
So a lot of people saying he's been going through a humiliation ritual. They pushed the kid away. you know, a kid approached him and he's like, not today, sir, not today. I didn't mind it because, as some people may have forgotten, he did the same thing to Jeff Hardy. He came out in Jeff Hardy's face paint and outfit. Because some people were thinking, what? I was like, yeah, if you
that
follow...
That was when Jeff Hardy was arrested as well, over in TNA.
It's when he left.
He left, but then he was sort of...
I don't know if he was arrested, but it's basically, it was loser leaves WWE match. Yeah. He won, and the next week he came out to rub salt in the wound because people were like, Jeff is back. It's wrestling. He'd be like, no, it's not. It's CM Punk doing the thing, and he made fun of him, and then about his history. So CM Punk's done it before. He's done the cosplaying aspect. I don't mind it. It's been the most exciting chapter in the John Cena arc that we've been on, because it got neutered. It started off hot. At one point, people calling it the number one heel turn in all of wrestling. There's a TLC episode on it, on heel turns.
As a moment. As one standalone moment, it's up there.
It's up there, but then you look afterwards and you're like,
the follow-up's not been great.
Yeah, so again, I've always been a fan of Cena, but I've also been a fan of wrestlers that organically get over and need opportunities. I was a huge CM Punk fan from his ROH days. I was a fan from when he was feuding with Raven in ROH. That's when I discovered him in the Power Slam magazine, and I checked out his stuff. And I was in love with the mythology of CM Punk, of what he represented, and then it turned out CM Punk is just a human being, and I've been coping with the fact that CM Punk is not this guy I bought the t-shirt for, best in the world. This guy starts, fights for the little people. Well, he's a human being at the end of the day, and I've been coming to terms with it because we've been seeing a lot of things in the last couple of days that CM Punk is human. He's not a superhero. He's not straight edge Jesus. He's just a human being, and then I'm like, all right. You're just a human being. Sat as an adult has to cope with it. It's kind of like being told Santa Claus is not real. The CM Punk I grew up on, crap. I ruined it for kids, innit? Crazy examples like if someone told you. If someone told me, because Father Christmas is real. I've done this so many times. Oli stopped me. But what I'm trying to say is I enjoyed the promo. It wasn't too bad. The rhyming pattern was a bit off at points, but it did what it needed to do. Some people are a bit jealous that the Saudi crowd got it instead of the usual crowd in America, but I didn't mind it. The feud's been what it's been. It's been serviceable. It's been fine. How have you been finding it?
The whole CM Punk is a man, is a human. I came to terms with that November 2023 when he went back to WWE. I was like, okay, this is where we all stand. Whatever. And I still do really enjoy CM Punk as an on-screen character. You do? You're a fan? Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm pretty good at compartmentalizing. The tears you had when he come back is pregnant. You still. Oh, nowhere near that level, because that was tied to the real emotion I had to him as a human. But now I can separate that. I just really enjoy CM Punk as a character. I can watch that generally without going, but he's maybe a hypocrite. But how did you feel about that? Did you feel a bit crushed a little bit? Like when he went back to WWE? It's kind of like a therapy session. It's kind of like they perceive themselves one way and you believe it, and then you find out kayfabe. So we got kayfabed a bit. How did you feel about it? Well, it was a long process from Brawl Out and then Collision and then all that, all the stories there. So I'd sort of, it was a slow death, really. Yeah. Back in the early 2010s, he was legit my adult hero, where I would be in bathrooms before job interviews doing the pipe bomb promo in the mirror to psych myself up to go into the job interview. Wow. Like, that's the level of I believed in him, not just as an on-screen character, but as a symbol, what I thought a symbol, what he stood for as a person. And then that was all reignited when he went back to AEW. Because he explicitly told me so. But then, the next couple of years weren't so hot, and then he ends up in WWE. And I'm like, okay, you're a human being, is what it is. So I've moved on from that thing. I'm just going to enjoy Punk as a character on screen, as one of my favorite TV characters. But what WWE have decided to do, and I think it's such a bizarre thing they've opted for, is to include CM Punk's real-life hypocrisy in the storyline. Humiliation ritual. Triple H is getting his I've been saying this for a couple of weeks, that it feels like a humiliation ritual. Of course, definitely. Because they could have just so easily done this a month earlier, and have the match at Money in the Bank. Why? Which makes way more sense to do John Cena and CM Punk. But I was like, no, don't worry, Luke. What's more important? Doing it at Money in the Bank or doing it in Chicago? Obviously, Chicago is the important thing about that historic pay-per-view. So it's okay if they don't do it at Money in the Bank. And then they go and do it in Saudi Arabia.
Bingo. Yeah.
Which is the most problematic area for CM Punk and, his famous tweet, go suck a blood money covered dick in Saudi Arabia, you effing dork, to The Miz.
And he's doing it now.
Which Punk said on Friday in the Night of Champions pre-show, I'm sorry, I was cranky that day. And I was like, of course it is. And then I was really excited because Friday was the 14-year anniversary to the day.
Yeah.
To the day. And they did the John Cena pipe bomb the week before. So, okay. The reason they did that is because they've got something special planned. Yeah, it's in Saudi Arabia, but it will be great TV.
Yeah.
For my favorite character. And then he comes out and does the dorkiest, goofiest, dressed up as Thugonomics John Cena, in my opinion, toothless promo against Cena about bald spots. Batista can act better than you. Where is the CM Punk that came out the night after Elimination Chamber and cut that scathing promo on The Rock, on John Cena, and then on to Seth Rollins? Because that's the best CM Punk has looked in the whole WWE run.
I agree.
But we've got him here. He's slipped into corporate Mr. TKO.
Yeah, his hair as well. It's thick, luscious hair.
It's thick, luscious hair. That is a great thing about it. I bet it's all the sea salt spray to give it the volume.
I mean, he stopped wetting it. That's what it is. I don't know, because he used to wet it a lot. It's kind of like, when you stop wet, it's kind of when Triple H used to wet his hair a lot, and then doing promos, he's got this puffy blonde hair. And then
Flair,
and then there's times when he's like being a second to like Randy Orton or Batista, and he's in his like Evolution t-shirt, and he's got the you're like, it's still quite blonde, It's like all that water just makes it look darker. But yeah, so I feel like CM Punk, that's what's covered. That's what covers with the water. That thick, luscious hair that he has on his head.
He's got great hair.
He does. And when he's in the match, I'm like, ooh, very business. It's kind of like, I'm feeling it. Even though when you're a wrestling fan or you watch wrestling, they tend to be like, they look quite intimidating. But you look quite nice. I don't know if I'm intimidated by you, a nice hair guy in the trunks, but your hair looks quite nice, I didn't mind the promo. I didn't mind the promo because, like I said, he's got a history of cosplaying as his opponents as a form of
I don't mind the promo either. I think it's a great promo to do 3 weeks out from the pay-per-view. As a go-home segment, the week after John Cena did his very serious anti-pipe bomb promo, and on the 14-year anniversary in Saudi Arabia, I think it was a whiff. Like, John Cena's heel run hasn't been what we all thought John Cena heel run would be for the last 20 years.
Or even Cena himself, because if you heard the Chris Van Vliet interview...
Yeah, we've pivoted loads and stuff.
Yeah.
But think about all the potential you could have for CM Punk versus John Cena one more time. To be honest, you didn't need a large amount of this... but you've got to fight me in Saudi Arabia. No, I'm not going to actually say why that's problematic, rest of the TV audience. I'm just going to imply it so you can look it up online and dog whistle for everyone who knows out there. They could have done. You are tied 6 wins to 6 wins in your career, in your historic rivalry where you have been each other's arch nemesis. Make it about the 13th. Who's going to be the unlucky or lucky 13th? And the WWE title's on the line. And do it a month earlier at Money in the Bank!
Listen, it wasn't in the plan. Plans pivot, all that good stuff they like to say.
But what was the plan? The tag match? John Cena and Logan Paul versus Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes... Gotta go viral, man.
Where Cody Rhodes pinned John Cena, and it didn't mean anything because Cody then had to win the King of the Ring tournament to get that shot.
It's all part of the show.
I know what you're doing.
No. There's some validity in what you're saying. I'm not even poo-pooing it. I'm not even doing a trolling thing. I'm just saying that this is the kind of BS response you're going to get. So it's kind of like screaming into a void. I get your frustration, and it's true. It would have been more poetic and symbolic to do the rematch on the 14-year anniversary of their famous match, or even like the moment of the pipe bomb. But it's already been told to us that Nick Khan is a CM Punk fan. Triple H just likes the fact that he got him back and did the pointing thing, and then CM Punk had to backtrack everything. So I don't know Triple H, and I can't really speak on him. I'm just speaking as an observer of what I feel like I'm seeing. I'm seeing him getting his revenge, because this is the guy that was retired, broke his retirement, beat CM Punk, and then went back into retirement. You know what I'm saying? So this is the same guy. There's the same guy that I feel like there's still wounds. It's still, no matter how much he's forgotten, what you're seeing right now is a guy that has to eat a lot of crow, because he said a lot of things. There's been lawsuits and whatnot. There's been broken friendships and whatnot. So this is a guy who has to eat a lot of crow to get a whiff of that NXT job that he so covets, you know? But in terms of like the promo, I didn't mind it. Yeah, it would have been great for him to do. But then I say it would have been great. He's been doing scathing promos on CM Punk on Cena. You've seen CM Punk confront John Cena by his heel run. There's nothing more he could have done. Like, he's not the same CM Punk of old. He doesn't have the same chip on his shoulder. This is a guy who's now, very much a millionaire, very much making good money, very much in a stable marriage, loves his dog and all that good stuff. He's in a happier place than he was years ago. So you can't get that old guy, because that'll be like faking it. Because even then you'd be like, you're not that guy anymore. What's your gripe? You don't even have gripes anymore. They're actually giving you what you want. You're actually making X amount of money. You're actually getting feuds with people of high caliber. So on one hand, I understand why you're upset. On the other hand, he's not the same CM Punk. You have to grow up sometime. It's kind of like John Linden, Johnny Rotten, right? Johnny Rotten from
Sex Pistols.
Then he did Limited. Was it his post punk group, which is called it rhymes with something. It's something Limited. I've got the name of the group. It's a post punk group he did after he broke up the Sex Pistols. And nowadays it's like Sir John Linden, wherever it is,
doing Lurpak commercials.
Bingo. Punk is doing Lurpak commercials. So we have to get used to it. You're punk in your youth, and then in your 40s you become Republican.
The thing is, I don't subscribe to that, and I don't have to like it. I've decided, and I do think it's a sellout.
Is it public? Is it public image limited?
Yeah,
PIL.
That's it. Yeah, PIL. Yeah. I've decided. Loads of people are commenting that now.
Thank you, smart people. I was worried that it's just wrestling fans.
Google.
Yeah. Well, they heard me. Sat struggling. Help! Mayday! He needs help. Thank you, guys.
Penta. Yes. Coming out for the save.
I loved it. You know what, Jeff Hardy? You can retire now, sir. We've got a new video of a guy just, hot dogging it to the ring.
All right. Well, let's get on to the actual match. This was Punk versus Cena.
Okay.
For me, probably the best Cena heel match so far. I agree. Actually really quite like the Orton one, but the first 10 minutes of the Orton one was so boring. But this was a lot more engaging in the first half, probably because it's Punk. He got in AJ Lee's octopus stretch thing, potentially a reference to maybe Evolution. We've not heard anything there, but maybe it is a tease.
No. I don't want it to come back.
No?
No. I'm saying it from a fan point of view. I'm a fan of AJ Lee. I still remember what people used to write online, how she's treated by the company. The whole Nikki Bella being the longest reigning Divas champion was to supplant what AJ Lee was, the longest reigning champion. She was not treated well. So for me, the biggest victory outside of wrestling is to succeed outside of wrestling, which she has done. She does not need to come back. I love the fact they're clamoring for her. And for me, the best revenge would be to never come back. Because when you do, it's like you're giving them what they want, and then they have you. Yeah. We got her back. She's back. Here's a DVD that, because they erased her. Let's not. I take things. People say it's business. I sometimes take business personally. Like, this is my life. Oh, yeah. Her mental health was impacted by how she was treated in the company. Like when her husband being sued, because she was still there a little bit longer after he left and the whole lawsuit situation was happening. They treated her wrong, and they told her she wasn't desirable. Because I'm reading her book. It's taken me 5 years, but I'm still reading that book. So there's a lot of things when you read in that book what she's been through. And I'm like, no, yeah, they're giving her flowers now, wherever, but they didn't appreciate her back then. The company didn't, Vince didn't, and you know, John Laurinaitis, especially, another guy that didn't treat her well. So I don't want her to come back because I feel like she's got a great body of work. Yeah, she didn't work with the women of today. She would have thrived or elevated her game, kind of like Trish has shown. But no, I feel like AJ, leave her alone. I'm on the side of like, leave this woman alone. She's doing well as it was comic books and writing for films and stuff like that. Leave her alone. I'm like, just leave her alone. Bloody hell, Ollie, leave her alone.
What? Punk gets in an STF, Cena hits an AA and another AA. And then, quite impressively, he rolled through Punk's top rope crossbody for a third AA. And then Cena's like, he keeps on kicking out. So Cena goes to get the title and he goes to use the title. But the referee is like, well, you'll get DQ'd. So Cena throws it away.
Yay.
Now, I don't know if that is Cena coming to his senses or if it's more of a, I'm starting to turn babyface.
It could be, but if he didn't do that with R-Truth, sure. But he did have R-Truth where he had the belt, hesitated, and hit him with the belt later. Even though he didn't hit him with the belt this time, because, you know, we're going to talk about the second half of the match. I just feel like it was just a case of like, oh, I picked up the belt too early by instinct, but I don't know. Because people want it to be like he retires as a babyface. I know people want it so bad, but I don't know how we get there.
Well, I actually want Cena to just retire with the belt as a heel. And he has ruined wrestling.
I don't mind
Proper
that.
End of Infinity War. I have no idea what you do after them. But the
creating your belt. Creating your belt.
Yeah, the horrible, like, it's the worst possible timeline you could have.
And he ends the lineage of the original belt, 1964, whatever,
it's
to
crazy.
63 to whatever now, yeah. And then you have to create a new belt, and then you have to start all over again. Yeah.
But then John Cena would probably do one more match to re-legitimize everything. I think that's the
just retire.
That's the end game part.
I would just lock the door and I said, "Can you give me your fob, your key?"
No.
Yeah, no. But who knows? Maybe people keep thinking because we're going to talk about the interference and stuff like that. We are seeing glimmers of a crack in his foundation. Probably.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. So after that, Punk gets a GTS, but Cena has accidentally shoulder tackled Rudy Charles. So Punk is calling for another referee. And in a really good spot, I thought, because I just thought another referee was going to walk down. Seth Rollins' music hits.
I love that.
The whole faction comes down. They never really did the Heyman Punk stuff, which to me is far more dramatically interesting than Seth and Punk. I feel
agree.
like WWE keeps saying, wow, this Seth Punk feud, right? I'm like, well, no. I enjoyed I enjoy it. But the Drew Punk feud, all-timer.
I
The
agree.
Heyman Punk relationship, all-timer. Seth and Punk, it's there.
The match has
a
been
lot.
fine.
Yeah, the match has been really good. But it's just not like, it's not the most interesting thing in any of the feuds.
It's quite, because Seth Rollins' gripe is quite one-dimensional. It's almost like a stooge. You hate this company. You wanted to. I'm like,
Reed and Breaker went to take out Punk, and Punk fought them off by trying to break his neck. Did a dive on the outside, and thank God they caught him. But then they didn't do him any favors by doing a sort of chokeslam powerbomb thing onto the commentary desk that looked like it sucked. And then, best spot of the night, Charles Robinson, Little Nate, who looks great for 61. He's a big George Michael fan.
he is.
Yeah. Oh, you've got to look into this. He's got full-on George Michael tattoos on his leg.
Betraying the Nature Boy, Ric Flair now. Like, what's he going to be? Going to be the Georgie Boy now?
And he's running down, full sprint, and Cena pounces him.
Did you know that it was a callback to his WrestleMania 19 spot when he ran down the ramp?
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, because notoriously not online. Ollie Davis doesn't know this. It gets memed a lot. They will show like meme video of like, oh, you're getting your takeaway, and they use his running as a meme. So and how it was shot as well, and how he was running. It was kind of like, oh, it's a callback to that WrestleMania 19
great.
when he had to run down. I think it was like Hogan and Vince street fight. He ran down for one match. I forgot what it was, but he was wearing the SmackDown blue t-shirt.
Because for me, I just gave me memories of Del Rio trying to cash in at Money in the Bank 2011 and Cena. I think that's just a clothesline. It'd be funnier if he clotheslined Little Nate. But then we get Penta, because Penta comes out to try and stop the Bronze, and he does so by doing his surfboard little walk when Punk's in quite a lot of danger.
Hey, he doesn't know that guy.
And that meant Bron Breakker could just run up and beat the crap out of Penta.
Why not?
Penta looks super ineffective here.
Hey, zero miedo, man. It's the lifestyle he lives by. He shows zero fear.
This brings out Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn and Penta together can take out Bron Breakker. Punk saves John Cena from a Bronson Reed tsunami, and then Cena hits an AA on Reed, which is pretty impressive. And then Punk reaches out for the handshake, which is a bit idiotic, dumb babyface.
I agree.
I do like it because it riffs off their Elimination Chamber spot from earlier in the year. But if you're going to do that spot, I think you need to do more work to get there and make it okay. They hug, Cena does the face, and he kicks Punk in the dick.
He does that good. It looks very. It's just like absence of all sort of like positivity.
Yeah,
it just darkness.
It looks like he does it in monochrome somehow.
Oh.
This brings in Seth. He hits Punk with the briefcase and a stomp. Cena throws Seth out the ring and pins Punk to retain.
Kind of like Elimination Chamber, same thing, right? But this time he throws Rollins over the ropes. But yeah, you know what it was? There's a lot of finisher spamming. Austin Rock kind of perfected it, and I feel like there's a lot of finisher spamming in the main event. That's like it's like a cheat code for extra stars in a match, because that's like a way to get pop people. Oh, is that no? Oh, it's not over. Oh, it's not over. So that's why I feel like when they done that in a match, it's like finisher spamming just for the sake of popping a crowd.
I'm just being corrected that actually Punk caught John Cena's kick to the dick. So
yes, he did. He did. He caught he blocked it. Yeah, that did happen. Yeah.
So I really enjoyed this. Smoke and mirrors, loads of interference. It's hard not to get swept up in the sports entertainment of it all, but I do think it might be in danger of being overdone. This is the WrestleMania 40 Avengers style end to a match. And it's like that style of end plus the Bloodline style of end, which are getting a bit repetitive. So it hasn't become overdone yet, but with SummerSlam a month away and it probably happening there as well, yes.
Such is life. Tune in, guys. You know, we're all wrestling fans. That's the journey we're on. Hence why I want Cody Rhodes to win the title back, so we can end this repetitive nature of this title reign. Him being champion. Even though the only thing that was stuck at me, him being 17-time champion, is in reality, Ric Flair is actually nearly like 20 times champion. So for me, it's kind of like you're telling me to sell kayfabe. So I'm always like, oh, fine, sure, 17 times a big thing. Within the WWE world, it's a big thing, but Ric Flair still got the most. Him and Jerry Lawler in non-kayfabe got the most world title reigns.
Overall, I thought this was a fine show. Had a good time with it. Nothing was bad. And yeah, I thought the Orton Cody match was really good. Really enjoyed Rhea Raquel.
It's a kind of show that it's building to the bigger show, right? It's one of those. It's a B show for a reason. Even though I'm kind of annoyed that they've dropped the King and Queen of the Ring aspect of it. Even though they've had the finals, but I'm saying that it's the same show, it's different painting, right? It's even the same font, but just change it to Night of Champions, because not all titles were defended, so it's not a Night of Champions. So it kind of annoys me. I'm a bit of a stickler for that. It should just been called King and Queen of the Ring. But I don't mind the winners, because they are both Cody and Jade are in prominent storylines with the champions. It's been hinted at with Tiffany and Jade for a while that they're going to have a collision course, and I'm hoping that Naomi becomes champion, because on paper, we've had a babyface champion for quite a while. It's time for a heel champion, not Charlotte. Naomi. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah,
it'd be interesting to see what happens with Naomi, because Seth also has a briefcase, and I don't feel like they'll do both cash-ins on SummerSlam weekend. So I think Naomi is the better shout for that weekend. Seth holds on for it longer.
I can see Seth trying to cash it in, and you get a return of Roman Reigns at some point in the week.
Oh yeah, Roman Reigns is a thing.
That's why this feud is still continuing. People said it. People are actually begging, please, Roman, come back so we can end this feud between Punk and Rollins. That's the only reason why they're in each other's orbit, is because they're still waiting for Roman to come. There's that Roman aspect. Don't forget, Roman hasn't reacted to Paul Heyman being potentially the Oracle, because the WWE, they've got the trademark. They got a trademark. The trademark's either for Heyman or the group. They trademarked the name Oracle. So he's either gone from being a wise man to being an Oracle, or the group's called the Oracle, which that doesn't make sense. It makes sense for Heyman to be the Oracle. So who knows?
Well, let's get into your remaining chat gables. Real Double J writes, Ollie, you're telling me you didn't enjoy MC Punk coming down on Friday with all the energy of how do you do, fellow kids? We add fact that MC stands for midlife crisis in comic terms. It's that same perverse car crash enjoyment of reading Neil Adams' Batman Odyssey and systematically destroying everything that made him one of the greatest contributors to the Batman mythos. So Real Double J has this uncanny ability, Sat, to get these laser-focused, really obscure references that Luke and I instantly understand. And Neil Adams' Batman Odyssey series, I believe, is a comic book run from 2011 and 12, which I did read through, which was Neil Adams' big return to the Batman title.
You're a comic book nerd.
Oh, yeah. And yet, well done. All I say there is, well done, Real Double J. Keep talking, because the things have...
Listen, we're getting attacked again, guys. You know, the light's been taken out again. Please don't hurt us. I am not involved, guys. I'm here just covering.
I figured out what it is.
Where is it?
There is a half-hour expiration timer on this graphic that runs down the middle of the screen.
Oh...
I'll get that fixed. Sorry, back to Real Double J. But I can't be mad at a man who cites Grant Morrison's Invisibles. Which work of theirs do you recommend to newbies? Personally, it's We Three. Grant Morrison, great comic book writer. I love Batman Incorporated of Grant's. But there's so many. I say go read his book, Super Gods. It's like a history of comics and his own autobiography weaved in at certain bits. And finally for now, Mayor of Painesville, damn right. Hello, Sat. Hello, Ollie. Hope you're well. Excited to see Sat E on my TV again. So what was the Night of Champions before the Night of Champions on SmackDown? And what about that tag title match? Where is that building to? Dexter for champ.
You know what? Mayor of Painville's he's got obscure favorites, and I appreciate that he's like ride or die for them, and Dexter Loomis being one of them. Who knows? The combination of White Six that I want to be tag team champions, if it does happen, is Rowan and Gacy. Sorry for Dexter.
Yeah, I really like Joe Gacy. I think he, like we were talking about with Satisfaction and using a tag team to build up a new guy, I think Joe Gacy could be that guy. Or how old is Joe Gacy now?
Born in 1987.
Is he really?
Yeah.
He's 37. Yeah, because in my head he's like 28. Because he's an NXT guy who's been called up.
He used to wrestle in CZW. He's been around for a while.
Wow.
Do you miss his old character? I miss his old song. Love is blind. The grass is greener on the other side. I don't know the rest of the song.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us here today. Apologies for the occasional technical difficulties.
Listen, Ollie's been getting attacked. Ollie's been getting attacked. That's what's been happening. Is either the Young Bucks or the Ghost of Sabu or someone. When the lights go out, he's just been getting attacked, man.
Well, blame it on mechanical issues, as is the spirit of the weekend. But please go over, watch my review if you haven't already on this WrestleTalk news channel, and also go over to the Friday WrestleTalk podcast with me and Luke, where we talk about the John Cena pipe bomb against CM Punk and our review of AEW Dynamite.
Did you like it? Did you like it? Or you have to find out, guys.
I thought it was fun. And ultimately derivative, but that's what it is.
I know
it's a reference to them.
It's meant to be. It's meant to be, guys.
But for now, I've been Ollie Davis. That's been Sati Nyangi. Jam that jam.
Happy Saturday.